everyone, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. I apologize for the lack of Planet Zoo videos over the summer. It's been slow going. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, and I mean, I kind of mentioned at my very first few Planet Zoo videos that I got into Planet Zoo because I was burned out of Minecraft, so I mean, I wasn't really burned out of Planet Zoo, but which is good news, which means it's easier for me to get back into. Because when I'm burned out of something, that's when things get rough. I can take a hiatus for who knows how long from that game. But today we are doing the Grizzly Bear exhibit. So I love and I hate the fact that I've made this whole thing on a mountain. I know I've discussed it in previous videos with this series, but sometimes the ideas in your head do not always come to fruition, and sometimes, it's all a learning experience, right? Everything you do, you learn from. So future zoos, I don't know if I'll end up making any sort of large geographical terraforming projects like I did in this one. I mean, it did make sense in terms of it being a taiga zoo. The taiga biome in general is very mountainous usually, so it made sense that it was on a mountain, and it made sense that different animals were in different places on the mountain, and it was kind of like going on a hike and whatever. But it's hard working and trying to make things go the way you want them to go, and all it takes is one little piece of land to not go with the rest of the group, and it'll mess it all up. We did get there in the end. It was just, slow going at first, trying to get it terraformed the right way, and then obviously once you have it terraformed, it doesn't necessarily translate into the animal being able to traverse the terrain. So then you have to go back through and alter it some more once the animals are actually living in it. But we did get there in the end. It's not quite where I wanted it to be, which you can probably kind of tell even from the final result. I had the idea in my head of, the one waterfall splitting into two waterfalls and then having this like little puddle outside of the cave, but it just didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. But it still ended up being a pretty nice exhibit, and it still ended up being alright. Like, I'm not mad at it. And it fits in the zoo, and it's not anything that is just completely and totally like out there. It works. I sincerely don't know if there was anything differently I could have done with this particular habitat, just given the area I gave myself to work with. Maybe not adding water at all would have potentially been helpful. But I don't know. I am super excited for the North American pack that is coming out though, and we finally get Arctic foxes. Like, do you guys, oh my god, I'm so excited for Arctic foxes. You have no idea, like, no idea. I don't know why I'm so excited for Arctic foxes. Like, I was not expecting a North American pack, I guess. Like, I guess I didn't actually consider North America. I mean, yes and no. I wanted, the northern animal pack, or more penguins too. So I was thinking more of like the taiga tundra type of animals, not necessarily a continent is what I wanted, but I'm not mad at it. I love having more animals to build with and choose from and theme in my zoos. So I am set on finishing the Taiga Zoo. I didn't abandon it. I didn't forget about it. I didn't start another zoo. Like, I have every intention of filling it and completing it. We have one more of the bears to do, the Himalayan brown bears. We have the wolves to do. I'm not we've got the reindeer. Like, I'm not abandoning this zoo. I am continuing to work on it. I apologize for the absence of videos over the summer. But it's good to take a break every once in a while from things and do something else. I'm excited to get back into the zoo and everything, and once the Taiga Zoo is completed, I look forward to coming up with the next zoo idea and seeing what kind of theme and stuff to work on. And if you guys that are watching this have anything in particular that you want to see, or any animals that you would like to see, or type of zoo, or even if it's just something you see me doing in the video that you're like, oh, how did you do that? Because I know sometimes I explain how I do stuff and sometimes I do not. So feel free to be like, so how did such and such happen? Or anything like that. And you can see I'm really struggling with the water and how I want the water to go, and it was not me and the water in this game. We're having words. I was more than infuriated with this whole frickin' situation. No, water is and like, it's hard too, because I try to disguise the land with like the different jets and stuff, because it does actually give quite a nice like foam and water sense, those jet things that they give you, those special effects. But those things can be so annoying to line up correctly, because the effect will look right, but then if you switch axes, it'll be totally and completely like in the middle of nowhere, and you're just like, okay, great. And like, when you change it at all in a different axis, it messes. That's a whole thing. But yeah, honest answer, like, the water in this exhibit probably took the longest out of everything. Like, once I got the water in place, it all went pretty quickly after that. Like, the fencing was a little obnoxious to kind of place through. I did, in this particular exhibit, go through, and instead of using the null barriers for everything, like not everything, but instead of relying on the null barriers, I think I did just hide some of like the log barriers and some of the other barriers around, just and covered them up with rocks because of the other escaping animals throughout the zoo, because I did use the null barriers and I had used objects and stuff that I thought would keep the animals in, or originally did keep the animals in, and then all of a sudden with an update or something, they were just like, and now they're out. So it's been an experience in this zoo, but that's good. Like I said, you learn from everything. So but the hard part about building on the mountain is the pads. Oh, the pads. I saw Mila working at the staff building, and that's just like, it reminded me of the pads. Like, you can see the poor staff in the zoo, like, legitimately would not want to be a staff person in the zoo. Like, it's not Like, oh my gosh, it's insane some of the pathing that it let me do and also would not let me do. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the grizzly bear time lapse. At the very end, I did include screenshots and little videos of the bears in their habitat, and like I said, I did have to modify a few things once the bears were actually in the exhibit, because what I feel like they could do in my head and what they could actually do, not the same. But that's okay, because that always happens. It's inevitable. So yeah, enjoy and have a wonderful day. Bye guys.